Good evening. You ready, Steve? Good evening. It's the 9th of December, and this is our last meeting for 2024. Would everybody please stand for the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I said this is our last meeting for the year. Alan laughed. Why do you have a big surprise?
No.
A special meeting for like. Our next town board meeting will be on January the 6th, and we'll have our new town board member with us, Dana Colleen Peterson, and we'll be doing a reorganizational meeting. We're having 2 meetings that evening. We'll have a reorganizational meeting and then our regular town board meeting on the 6th of January, and the days will be longer then, so that's good. I would like, does anybody have any announcements or? May I have a motion to approve the prior minutes of November 7th special town board meeting and November 12th regular town board meeting?
Motion.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Alan. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I would like a motion for Resolution 2024-368 to appoint Jeffrey Potent to the Conservation Advisory Board.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks. I met Jeffrey here at one of our town board meetings. I think he was coming for workforce housing, and he introduced himself to me. It was about a year and a half ago, and he's a sustainability professor at Columbia. He has a really amazing resume.
Wow.
And of course I said, have you ever thought of becoming involved? That's just where he came from. I know you had a question on the email.
Right,
so he said he would consider it when he retired, and he retired, and true to his word, he stepped up. So we're grateful to have someone with his background and expertise joining us. So all in favor of appointing Jeffrey Potent to the Conservation Advisory Board?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. I have a motion for 2024-369 for the cemetery internet phone service.
Motion.
Thanks, Chad. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alan. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I need a motion for 2024-370 for Planning for Places 2025 contract.
Motion.
Thanks, Chauncey. Second.
Second.
Thanks, Chad. Any comments or questions? This is being done because we'll be working before our rework meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I would like a motion for 2024-371 to hire our cemetery groundskeeper cleaner.
Motion.
Thanks, Chad. May I have a second? Thanks, Alan. Any questions or comments, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. May I have a motion for 2024-372 to hire temporary maintenance department laborers?
Motion.
Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Alan. This is for our year-round temporary maintenance workers. There's 3 of them, and they will be starting before our reorg meeting. It's the same 3 guys, the same schedule as this year. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I will make a motion for 2024-373 for the SEEP contract. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. This is for the Center for Environmental Partnership. It's for Emma, the same woman who's been helping us for 2 years, and they got us the $100,000 grant for the heat pumps. They helped us bring home our bronze certification for climate smart community, and they finished up, they did all the greenhouse emission grant studies, so they're really invaluable. And what this contract has us working on next year is the project where we're in with some other municipalities to put in the, not drainage, what's the word? filtration system, the biofiltration system at our capped landfill, which is a big deal. And also to work with us on a couple of issues, and one of them is looking at turning our lawns that need to be mowed into non-mowable pollinator, more clover and things like that. And there are some grants for that out there, which would, reduce mowing, have no water use. There's some money out there to do that. So that's just a couple of the things that they'll be working with us on. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
No. Aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I'll ask for a motion for 2024-374 for the NYSERDA grant agreement. This is the $100,000 grant that I was just talking about.
Motion.
Thanks, Chauncey. Thanks, Alan. This is the $100,000 grant that we received to get the heat pumps for air conditioning and heating, and we're going to put them in down at the pool, in 2 buildings, in our new pavilion and the highway garage new building for the records keeping room and the highway garage. So it's a big deal.
And are we putting any of them in here?
No, we have them in here.
Those are heat pumps?
Yeah, they're heat and air conditioning, and we really can't put it, and we have 3 other air conditioning units besides those, which pretty much cools down the whole building. I think it's just, it doesn't, we don't have enough space to put them in back there. And we didn't want them in the front of the building. Is that all we were talking? Yeah, okay.
So,
Any comments or questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2024-375, I'd like a motion to approve the village police contract.
Motion.
Thank you, Alan. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chad. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I need a motion for 2024-376 Tyler Technologies 2025, 2026, and 2027 contract.
Motion.
Thanks, John. May I have a second? Thanks, Alan. Tyler is here to help us do valuations along with our part-time 6-year appointed assessor. The contract is cancelable with 30 days notice. So we're bound for this year, which we need, and then we can cancel it for 26 or 27 if this is something that Jennifer would or can take over. But it's working out really well now. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. We have a motion for 2024-377 for the highway bid materials for 2025.
Motion.
Thanks, John. May I have a second? Thanks, Alan. Any comments or questions? This is Bob's, 2025.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I'm sorry. Aye. Yes, no opposed.
Okay.
Not opposed.
Passes unanimously. This is where you're drawing the line. All right. I need a motion for 2024-378 for Chad's basketball backboard and room purchase. Chadwick?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks. Any comments, questions, or concern? Chad
We
is
really need them. Good for you, Chad.
zhuzhing it
They
up.
look like hell. Good man.
Yeah, we're going to repurpose the aluminum panels that are there for the new bulkhead at the riverfront.
Right.
That's going to hold back the tide, right?
It will.
Yeah.
They're big and heavy enough.
But
Okay.
yes, that's what we're doing. We're getting 3 for the park.
One for the little kids.
1 for the little kids and 2 for the big kids.
Little kids are going to go right on that patch of asphalt sort of between where we looked at putting the bocce courts.
All right.
There's a gooseneck there that has been abandoned for a while, so it's a good surface and it
Little
can maybe
kids.
be repurposed
Yeah.
in time. And Carrie knows about it, Carrie, the rec park director.
Great, well,
Yay.
thanks for the good work. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. May I have a motion for 2024-379 for regrading the slope at the skate park?
Motion.
Thank you, Alan. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chad. This is Chad again. when we built the skate park, the push-off is a little higher, and if you look at it, it just sort of falls right down, so we just want to regrade it. Bob is going to do that for us. And we thought instead of planting grass there, because it's super steep and who wants to push a lawnmower up there, that we could do like a sustainable ground cover, like creeping thyme or whatever it is that we
Yeah.
decide.
And it'll take better root to hold the soil for any kind of drainage concerns and all of that.
So we'll just get a bunch of plugs in the spring and zap them in
Yeah.
there and ground cover.
And get at a proper angle. Is Patrick going to help with that, or we're just going to grade to it?
Bob's
Expecting-
capable. I don't think Bob needs an engineer for grading, but
Just making
I'm just
sure.
gonna go out there, yeah, we're gonna.
Okay, good.
we're gonna-
Just to interject, I was over there by accident, I don't even remember why. One of the last really nice afternoons we had, and I think it was about an hour after school let out, and the place was swarming with
Packed.
skate park.
Yeah,
And most of them looked like they were maybe middle school kids.
Yeah.
It was great to see.
they love it.
Yeah,
There are
there's a lot
adults
of,
out there
It's a big
too.
hit.
there's a lot of adults that come in the morning to skate,
Is that right?
who are in their 40s and 50s
Mhm.
before they go to work.
Good for them.
And we have the park benches in-house, we have to get them installed, that'll happen as it can happen. And we're gonna look into garbage receptacles that are permanent. We're borrowing them right now for the pool, but we'll be handing them back. But we're gonna find something that's appropriate for the park, and we'll be thinking.
Whatever Frank says.
That's what we're gonna do.
And Chad's got the pathways ready to go in January, because we funded it for January.
Yeah, but we're not doing that.
I just thought I
Oh,
talked
yeah,
about
no,
it.
it's- yeah,
No,
that's gonna- that's
we'll
a-
prove that on the 9th,
Yeah.
on January 6th.
To get those taken
Yeah,
care
we
of.
got the 3 bids in on that, so we'll have the 4-foot wide gravel pathways, I think 3 of them, right?
One will run from the pavilion to the skate park, the other will run from the parking lot to the skate park, and the other will connect both across the handicap area as a kind of making sure that there's continuity from the pavilion to the handicap spot to the remainder of the pathway. And that'll be the beginning of a longer pathway that we're looking to extend.
So crushed gravel and.
Yeah, crushed stone will be the top final portion, so it's usable
Walkable,
by
not
everybody.
skatable.
Right.
But also usable for wheelchairs and other types of vehicles that need it for ADA.
Thanks, Chad.
Sure.
But yeah, we figured we'd wait to approve that for when we had the funding in 2025. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves,
Very excited.
although we'd love to. Thanks for all your work on this, Chad.
Sure.
I guess we still have this open. We haven't voted yet, right? All in favor of slope grading at the skate park?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I need a motion for 2024-380 for our recreation hires, assistant rec director and camp director.
Motion.
Thanks, Alan.
Second.
Thanks, Chad. We're approving this early because they're both going to work on the winter festival programs that we have coming up, the stuff in the winter and the stuff in the spring,
good.
before we get up and running for camp in the summer. So we funded 3 events, the winter festival, the Earth Day, and a fall festival. Yeah.
That's great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2024-381, the men's winter soccer program.
Motion.
Thanks, Alan.
Second.
Thanks, Chad. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I should have bundled these together. 2024-382, the women's winter soccer program.
Motion.
Thank you, Chauncey. And a second.
Second.
Thanks, Chad. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Thanks, passes unanimously. And speaking of which, I need a motion for 2024-383 for our Recreation Winter Festival.
Motion.
Thanks, Chauncey.
Second.
Thanks, Chad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I'm going to bundle these all together. I'll make a motion for 2024-384 to create a capital project, capital project 120 for the Rhine Cliff Pocket Park, and a 2024-385 to close completed capital projects. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alan. We funded the Pocket Park, I think, back in 2003. We didn't do it. It went back into the general fund. and we're taking it out of the general fund and funding a capital project with it. We just didn't get around to it. We didn't get around to it. Frank didn't have time for it, and he's working on it with Chad. So
Yes.
the money was there. We didn't create the capital fund. Now we're creating it and putting it there. It was budgeted in 2023. It's $20,000. And then the rest, I'm just closing up all the capital funds for projects that we're done with, like the basketball court, resurfacing. There's a whole list of them here, and it's not that much money, but if you remember during the budget season, I had a whole spreadsheet of all the general fund money that we were going to use for all of our projects, like this shade seating and so it's all going towards that. So we're taking it out of the capital funds that are finished, putting it back in the general fund, and then we'll move it to where we need to, per my spreadsheet during the budget.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I will make a motion for 2024-386 for the preliminary accounts payable abstract. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alan. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I'll make a motion for 2024-387 for our capital projects abstracts. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Lastly, make a motion for 2024-388 for our budget transfers and amendments. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. Any comments or questions here? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I just wanted to bring up some new business, but I did want to mention too that I started working with Bob Wyant with Labella Engineering on the parking plan for Rhinecliff, because we have no codified parking law down there. So they're going street by street, but basically we're looking at making no overnight parking anywhere in the hamlet all year long. And we're looking at 3 to 4 hour parking in some areas of the hamlet, and 15-minute parking in front of the post office. And the reasoning behind this is that we don't want commuters parking there to get on to use it for the train. But the public does, want to park there and go walk around the hamlet or see the waterfront or whatever, it's public roadway. So we're working on that, and we're also working on a law for our town-owned parking lot. Now, the policy was passed by a resolution for the town board, is that any member of Rhinecliff, any resident of Rhinecliff can come in and get a permit, which isn't quite legal because it's a publicly funded parking lot. So all members of the town should be able to use it. But there are people in Rhinecliff who don't have any overnight parking available to them, just because it's a hamlet that's cheap to jowl and several units just don't have any parking. So we're working with the engineer and an attorney to look at the legality of selling overnight parking permits, so it wouldn't be for free, and so to residents who need it for overnight parking. And then the rest of the parking, we don't know what we do with, but it would be open during the day for people to be able to park.
Yep.
So we'll do that legally. It's like, for instance, I think that the village has those no parking signs up on Livingston. It's not legal. You can't. So sorry to add them, but you can park there, ticket won't stick. So I think you have to go to the state legislator to get permission to do something like that and prove why you need it. Apropos of that, we don't have a lot of police coverage by no fault of anybody. It's just that there's limited amount of labor in the village police. So I am going to talk to the sheriff, the county sheriff, and see if we can get additional patrols to patrol Rhinecliff and the dog park. I was down there twice, once this morning at 9 and once last week, and it's like lousy with people with their dogs off leash. I'm like, we have a leash law, and then you get
The rec park or the dog park?
rec park.
Okay, you said the dog park.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
which is kind of what's turned into.
Yeah, so But if we can't do that, we do have the power of hiring a constable. And it's something I'd like you all to think about and research a little bit. And what I've been told and what I found out is that there's a lot of training that's needed, so it's best to hire a recently retired police officer. But, you know, that way we could have someone who could patrol the dog park
But the constable would be for the town of Rhinebeck, and that could be parking and dog combined?
whatever we want is my understanding, but we'll have to, you know, look at the law, look at the New York State General Municipal Law.
Who would lead us on this? Who could help us? Like, is there?
Well, I'd go to the sheriff and the state police and Pete Dunn and find out, we could put an ad out for any recently retired, an attorney.
No, but I just meant the place to get information about the responsibilities, the training, all of that.
I think the Association of Towns.
You know, just go and look at the law, New York State General Municipal Law under constables, and then it's not civil service, so someone will be able to tell us, and I'll find the
That's a
person.
great idea.
Yeah. I
Well,
like it.
except that the only thing is then we're supervising a law enforcement officer. So it seems like a great idea until it's not a good idea. I'd rather work with the village, you know, Sergeant John knows what he's doing. You know, the county sheriff knows what he's doing. You know, I've never supervised a police force.
Well, could we have Don supervise somebody that the town hires?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I
'Cause he's
mean,
in
but
town.
we already have dog laws that have to be abided by.
Well, we also need a dog control officer.
But they were in that they were given the responsibility of the constable, but we had.
No, they
hired-
weren't given the responsibility.
No,
of
but they
constable.
had laws that they had to enforce, so
No, the
that.
dog enforcement officer can only enforce the leash laws.
Okay.
And often dog enforcement officers just don't have the right presence, you know, to enforce people.
Sure.
So I just want to be clear so that they don't have, you know,
I just meant it as something we've already kind of stepped into partially.
and it doesn't work. It
Yeah.
doesn't work to have someone in a, you know, station wagon roll up and yap at people that gets confrontational.
Well, do we have anybody in town at the event? Was there anybody we could talk to who has one? Is there someone in
Chad, there's
Denison?
a process for it, and we'll find it out very easily. You know, just read the law.
No, I meant, is there a local town that has a constable that we could talk
I
to?
don't know.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll find that out.
I don't know. But think about it.
Yeah.
That's,
Good.
you
It's
know,
a good
we're going
idea.
to need more labor to enforce parking and dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think we have the capacity. Like, I'm just wondering about our capacity to oversee a law enforcement constable. It's dicey, you know? But
It's.
Well, and what
it's
kind
good
of
to look into.
responsibility comes with it?
sounds great, but
Yeah.
it isn't,
When he
right?
hit somebody over the head with a nightstick, and oh my God. You know.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why we have
Yeah.
insurance. But,
Yeah.
so think about it.
We'll look into it.
I guess I wanted to bring up one piece of new business, which was that you guys received today an email from our beloved and former town board member, Josh Pulver, who wants to put together, asked me to support him, and I said I would, in putting together a committee to do you want me to read it out loud, or did you guys all read it?
I read it.
I read it.
told them I supported.
Okay, as you know, I'm an architect, and this often places me in front of planning boards. I have presented in multiple municipalities all over the state, and they all operate differently, some better than others in my view. And I recently had a project in Piermont, Orangeburg, which had an incredibly refreshing approach, especially for an outsider to their town like I. For $400, you have a maximum 20-minute meeting with the entire staff, building, planning, and zoning staff. And they give you a roadmap and earmark all the potential issues from their perspective and minimum standards to return. This was all recorded and forwarded in a follow-up email. I don't think anything was binding, and it was not a formal public hearing. This got me wondering if there were other, quote, best practices, and if there were other ways to optimize the planning board process for applicants, particularly ones who are unfamiliar with planning. given Rhinebeck is probably the only place in the world where I could actually foment some change, I wanted to offer my assistance in forming a small committee to review this and make a presentation to the town board with our findings, say 2 or 3 months duration max. My proposal would be for a 6-person committee, the planning board chair, 1 planning board member, 1 architect, which would be Josh, 1 engineer, TBT, Alan from the plan board, and 1 town resident layperson. And he's asking that Michael Zarin work on this with him, which is a really good idea because he teaches this at Paystone School. You know and like him. And that the basic points of research and discussion would be what are the best practices currently employed locally or nationally for the process of planning boards, and are there any ways to make the process better, more understandable and clear for the applicants who are new to the board. He also has some other ideas, but don't want to hinder the overall process with specifics. He's going to reach out to Melody if we agree and get her on board. He does not want this to appear confrontational or negative in any way. I think he's coming at this from a very positive, helpful point of view. You know, the reality is that planning boards, especially ours, are often criticized, but their efforts are critical for the environment and the manifestation of the comp plan and zoning laws. So again, a very positive, proactive way to make the procedure of planning tighter. And I just, is this something all you guys would like to see?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually remember talking to Josh about this. I'm in favor of it.
All right, so you'd be on it.
Yeah.
I'll email him and say we talked about it tonight, and we will, we have money in the 2025 budget to do something like this. I'll get Michael Zarin started, and we'll put a committee together. I'll tell him to reach out to Melody, we reach out to Melody, and, you know, it'll be like a guide for people going before the planning board and for the planning board, what's in their realm of what can they opine on and what, you know, can't they, and do we need to change anything with the procedure? Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all for me. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a couple things.
Yay.
One is a question. Has anybody heard anything about any proposal to fix South Mill Road?
Nope, as soon as I hear, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna hear until the end of the first quarter.
Okay. There was one fact that I heard from the county that was wrong, which was that they had apparently approached the Catholic Archdiocese about getting land from Linwood. Turns out Linwood is not owned by the Catholic Archdiocese, it's owned by the Order of Sisters of St. Ursuline Order. And,
I think that they were just saying, what,
the order said,
I know they know what they're talking about because I've talked to Bob Bog and Jonathan Shermans, and they are talking to someone at the church, so I think that they just mistakenly said Catholic Church. I don't think it's nefarious. I think that they're confusing the diocese with the Ursuline Order, the Ursuline Sisters. Because we're in talks with the Ursuline Sisters and a private person's attorney that we're helping along for an easement for water.
okay, the other thing was just to warn people about the scams that are going on. I had a call from somebody representing themselves as the lieutenant cook of the county sheriff's department. And he claimed that I had missed summons to go to jury duty, and I was going to be arrested. And unless I showed up at the county sheriff's office with a $2,750 voucher that I could get if I went to the ATM machine at the CVS.
Awesome.
Which I didn't do, by the way.
Good for you.
But I had my daughter who, they wanted me to stay on my cell phone so that they could track me, quote unquote. He wouldn't let me get off the line. So I pulled over, I was in my car, I pulled over and I texted my daughter who called the county sheriff's office to find out if there was actually a lieutenant cook there. And the answer is there isn't one. So that was the end of that.
I love the CVS money order.
Well, no, it's not a money order. They gave me a 6-digit account number to use to get Bitcoin, of all things.
Wow.
Because, you know, and the guy said that the state has changed the law about putting up bonds and blah, you know, it was-
Wow.
and the guy sounded like he knew what he was talking about, but I mean, but he didn't, I asked him how long he'd been with the sheriff's department, he said 15 years, and the guy didn't know that there's no North Street on Route 9, it's North Road.
What if he wanted to pay you cryptocurrency?
And Bitcoin, yeah, kleptocurrency. Anyway, so just be warned, everyone.
Thanks, Alan. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Yes.
Anything else from anybody? Anyone in the audience? Questions, comments, concerns? All right, it's our last meeting of 2024. Everybody will see you next year. Hearing no other comments, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Good night, everyone. See you in January.
Happy New Year, everyone.